Activist Greta Thunberg was supposed to board this aid ship, and Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, "I hope Greta and her friends can swim." And then Israel bombed that aid ship off the Malta coast. She did not board the aid ship, and she is alive, but it's astonishing that sitting U.S. representatives are calling for the death of activists at the hands of a foreign military.
Guys, holy freaking airball. If you are watching the flotilla on YouTube or on Instagram Live, you have just seen Basan enter the chat. Basan has entered the chat to give her firsthand encounter from the other side, from inside of Gaza, and they are fully aware of the Freedom Flotilla. Not only that, I had no idea that the Freedom Flotilla had also had other sectors that have been trying to get to Gaza since 2009. That is insane. Now, apparently, they're fully aware that the Freedom Flotilla was supposed to be here. The previous boat, they are fully aware of the previous boat and the numerous attempts prior to that. And she also stated that the exact same thing that we watched with the flotilla right before the Madleen is exactly what continuously happened every time they would try to come. It was the same thing. They would have like one doctor, some activists, they would have some people bringing aid, food, chefs, all types of people that would donate their time, and every time Israel will find a new creative way to take them out the game. I did screen record it so you guys can see, so let me go ahead and pull it up for you, and you can see Basan's true feelings along with several other Palestinians right now that are actively waiting at the beach for the flotilla to dock. This is insane. This is such a beautiful moment because, again, it's been 2 years that they've been trying everything, but not just 2 years. It's 2025. They've been waiting a long time since 2009 for these boats. And she also asks, why aren't there more boats? She's giving y'all the bell. Start packing. Start sending more boats, okay? Start sending more boats. As of right now, the Israeli army has just activated, hold on, let me show you. The IOF and IDF have just activated, in which Israeli media reported that the Israeli Navy is conducting training exercises off the coast of Ashdod, the exact same place that Israel Katz, the defense minister, stated that he wanted the Egyptian army to interfere and to redirect the flotilla directly to Ashdod instead of allowing them to dock right near Gaza. Now, at this point in time, they are asking for the Egyptian government to not interfere negatively and to not block their passage there. But as of right now, I did want to go ahead and stop chit-chatting and show you exactly what Basan is saying right now, guys. This is insane.
And maybe we'll get to meet each other in person. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to okay. I have to go, but Tiago will join from his phone. Mm-hmm. And and maybe I'm done, and then I will rejoin Tiago. Thank you so much. Kisses, hugs, and solidarity.
Thank you for everything you're doing. I'm waiting you both here in the coast, here in the beach, and here in Zoom. Okay, I'm
waiting. She had to go because people kept calling her on live.
Yeah. Yes. I'll make it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Stay on. Tiago's joining. Okay.
I'm on. Yes, I'm on. Okay, I'm waiting.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us. While we're waiting for Tiago to rejoin, talk to us about how people feel about the Madleen, making its way there, before we talk about the situation in Gaza, of course.
How people are feeling about Madleen in Gaza.
Yes.
People are just doing the same thing they're doing every day, which is looking, staring to the sea, waiting for something to come. But this time, we are not waiting for the bombs and the shelling from the warships, which we call Tarad. We're waiting for a 12 brave, amazing people who are just challenging the whole world and just sailing to Gaza, because why not? Because we've been trying any other diplomatic ways for like 2 years now, approximately 2 years now, and finally now we're sailing and just do whatever you do, talking to the Israelis. So we're just waiting for the heroes that we have been hearing about for years, the heroes that will at the end, listen to the Gazans, hear their screams, and just break the siege. By the way, we're waiting for a flotilla to reach Gaza since like 2009, 2010. We've been hearing about the flotilla, about the aids coming through the sea, about people coming from Greece, Italy, Turkey, but they have never reached. And يعني, it's the same reason, because of the Zionists attacking these ships, attacking these activists, peaceful, without any arms, just bringing medicines, doctors, activists, and this time representatives, and even people who were silent like for decades, you know. And finally, this is the time, after like 19 months of the genocide, where they are speaking. I mean, the people who are representing the voices in the West, who are just not even normal people, not doctors only, not journalists, not activists. This time we have more people. We have more people with stronger voices. The problem for me, actually, we are all, by the way, saying this in Gaza. Why we don't have 20 flotilla, 20 boats, a flotilla with like 20 boats, at least 1 or 2 weekly.
They rammed the side of the boat. They rammed into the side of the boat and boarded the boat with guns. They rammed into the side of the boat and boarded the boat with guns and abducted every single last one of them off of the boat. We watched it live. Whether you were on Al Jazeera, Telegram, or Instagram, you saw it happen live. And the videos are now floating around of the incident, of them ramming and sliding across the side of the boat, making sure to damage the vessel so that it would take on water and potentially sink. They showed up to a humanitarian boat with guns, abducted everyone off of there after ramming the boat, after jamming the communication signal, after speaking through the radio so that they couldn't call for help. "12 members of the flotilla are in danger right now. Several of them are French nationals. There's a national from Sweden, and there's a one from Brazil. And the SOS videos have now just went out. If you're seeing this video now, it means I've been abducted. And I think that was the moment that it became real for me that they were abducted. The kill switch was hit. And the SOS videos went out. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to feel. But I know one thing. It would be hilarious if I woke up tomorrow morning and thousands of ships just miraculously showed up in those waters. Because you can't arrest them all. I'm not sure how to fight back in this particular situation. But I know what Yasmin and the remainder of the freaking flotilla's intentions were. I know what their intentions still are. I know that the majority of us still believe in a free Palestine. And that we're not going to give up just because they decided to try and break our hope by doing this. Right now, the number one thing that we can do, if you need to cry, cry it out. Believe me, I'm doing everything I can to fight back tears. But keep them in your thoughts and prayers. If you are able to reach out to anybody in France, put pressure on the government in France, Brazil, Sweden, The Hague. Reach out to all of your government institutions and representatives. They need our help now more than ever. They've been assaulted. We don't know how bad it's going to get. We don't know how far Israel's going to take it. They've arrested a diplomat. And they assaulted the ship pretty badly. All of their contact information is now being released so that we can continue to fight on behalf of them. And one by one, as each half an hour breaks, I've been timing them, all of the SOS videos are starting to come down the pipeline. Starting with Yasmin's on Instagram. So if you guys can do anything to help escalate this and push it as far as we can and put as much pressure as we can on these governments, they are human beings. They're not Thanos. They are human beings that know right from wrong. They are human beings. They're not gods. They're no one for us to be afraid of. In fact, this is pathetic that they would allow this to take place and not speak up or say anything. And you cannot tell me that they're not watching this as we speak. We're getting word that NATO is somehow involved. So that doesn't surprise me. But one thing I will say is that the people will always be bigger than the government. The government is not bigger than the program. They're not bigger than the resistance. The resistance has turned into a worldwide phenomenon, which means that we are a lot more powerful than we think. Do not let this break your spirit. Push back. Like I said, I know one thing. If I woke up tomorrow and thousands of boats randomly showed up looking to do the exact same thing that the Freedom Flotilla was doing and demanded that they release every single last one of them immediately, if I were Israel, I would be terrified. That's all I have to say about that. Keep sharing, keep pushing, and for any updates, you can definitely see them on the Telegram. They do have a Telegram, and they're also posting them on their Instagram. Tonight's going to be one of those nights. If you got a drink, baby, go ahead and take it to the head, because it's going to be one of them nights.
Some very concerning news coming from the Freedom Flotilla as Israeli forces have illegally boarded the ship, and this is the last picture that we have from the crew before connection went dark. Prior to this, the Israeli forces taking over the ship, there were 2 Israeli quadcopter drones that had surrounded the ship and were also dropping this mysterious white liquid all over the Madleen and the rest of the flotilla. And the quadcopter drones that were surrounding the Freedom Flotilla Madleen ship are not the kind of drones that people use for surveillance. These are the kind of drones that are used in military purposes, for military purposes, to unalive people. So the crew are in extreme danger right now. And in one of the videos posted by the crew, you could see or hear the Israeli soldier in the background demand that the crew ditch their phones. Now remember that this is happening under zero legal jurisdiction. Israel does not have any right to just go and take over this ship that is now in international waters and then illegally detain the crew.
Okay, they're dropping chemicals on us. They're dropping chemicals on us. We don't know what it is. Look at this. Look at this. They are. Okay, everyone take cover, please. Take over, everyone. Take over and be careful. So, we've all practiced this. We knew this could happen. They are not peaceful. This is not an interception. This is another war crime about to happen. This is another war crime about to happen against civilians. It's civilian. It's a ship of carrying nothing but humanitarian aid. So please keep your eyes on us. I will turn the camera so you can see what I mean. We don't know what this is. I don't know how to turn this camera around. What is this, guys? So here it is. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what this is. Guys, can we put this down? Can we put this down? I don't think it's a good idea, yes. I don't think it's a good idea. Everyone. We know our positions. We just sound the alarm to everyone. We are in contact with our land team here. Stay calm.
get your passport. Everyone has a passport.
I don't have my passport.
Me neither. So, thank you so much. I am going to distribute them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Baptiste. Okay, so I have so many things. Sorry, come on. Okay, come on.
So you can see it clearly there. It stinks really, really bad.
I need to grab back.
We don't know what it is. And we're putting up the Palestine flag to protect us, literally. We are using the Palestine flag to protect us. This is what we are doing right now. We don't know what this paint is. I cannot tell you. It smells very,
Let's go! But white paint.
Shit, guys. I'm so sorry that there's just so much happening right now. Do we have the grab bags?
Avoid to inhale this paint. Avoid to touch it.
Do we have masks, guys? We don't have any masks, so I will cover my mouth. Okay, use your kafiyas. Use your kafiyas to. Oh my God! This is water.
Yes, please.
This chemical.
This is going to distribute all of our passports right now. We put in a safe place, okay? I need light. Please. Yes, come on.
Okay, time check, please. Okay, the IOF is contacting us right now. I'm filming it.
Right, there is still this. You can some people put lights and others see. Nice. Passports. But they're not calling us. I just made a
Okay, we just thought that the IOF is making contact. Oh my God, it's burning my eyes. This thing. Is it burning your eyes? No?
nice. Oh. Everywhere on the book.
It's okay.
Yes,
My phone is about to die. I'm gonna come back to this live. Just I need a second. They are intercepting our boats right now. Please stay alert. We have no weapons. We are no threat. We carry only humanitarian aid. We are 12 people on board. There are ships surrounding us right now. So please make sure to be loud. We again impose no threat. We have no weapons. We carry only humanitarian aid to a starving population. 2 million people. Lift the siege, end the blockade, stop the genocide now, so that we don't have to do this. Demand your governments do this so that we don't have to do this. My name is Greta Thunberg and I am from Sweden. If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
I think this is lead carbonate. It looks like white paint and the person in the video was able to smell it right away. If that's the case, then all the aid supplies on that boat are ruined. They're not going to be able to deliver anything on that boat. Also, if that's the case, they have no intentions of letting them out alive. You inhale that, you die. You ingest that, you die. Anything it touches is considered hazardous waste. If we don't hear back from that crew in the next 24 hours, we know what happened.
Yet, you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? How dare you?
Guys, I think that they are trying to hurt the people aboard the Madleen. This just came from Kuz News Network. They basically said that the people on board are refusing to surrender, that they have the ship surrounded. They've already left the ship. They don't have to surrender. They're in international waters. They don't pose a threat to anyone or anything within the vicinity of the Gazan Strip. I'm not sure why they are, putting this false narrative out, but this came from the Jerusalem Post directly. So this sounds like a preset, like they're setting up the scenery so that they have an excuse or something to excuse why they are trying to attack the Madleen. Tonight is going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. We also need to find some way to get in contact with some people that are already in the location of where they're trying to get to, that are in Gaza, because we know just as well as they do that once they do reach that area, contact will be cut and they'll be cut off from the rest of the world. I'm trying to think ahead on how we can come up with a plan on staying in contact with them throughout this time frame, because this is really scary. I'm not gonna lie. I know I'm not the only one who's literally sitting here with a lump in their throat, but we got to be smart. We got to think efficiently. We got to figure out some way to get in contact with, I don't know, I don't want to say her name, but we got to get in contact with someone in particular to make sure that there are eyes. I know Coots News Network, they're usually able to get to a high vantage point, and they're usually able to get eyes in certain areas of Gaza, but I'm not sure if they're able to get an eye view of that area. I'm just thinking, I'm throwing things out there so we can have continuous coverage and eyes on them just to keep them safe. So if you guys have any ideas, start putting that ball in motion, because I have a feeling Israel's up to some bullshit and they're going to definitely try something. Them approaching the vessel with no lights on was enough for us to be able to determine they're definitely trying something. And then the Jerusalem Post already letting this out. Yeah, let's not let this happen. Let's make sure we're protecting them with everything we got inside of us.
I'm sitting on the steps of my house because news has broken that IDF forces have boarded the Madleen, the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, full of humanitarian aid. And how much more does Israel have to do before they face repercussions for breaking international law? For the love of God, Benjamin Netanyahu has an arrest warrant by the International Criminal Court. He himself is facing corruption charges within the international community. Our leaders have been watching this for almost 2 years. And the most they've given in condemnation was a tweet and a sharply worded speech, as funding is still going to Israel, as Z-list celebrities like Deborah Messing are signing letters in support of the forced starvation, forced famine. For the love of, we watched IDF soldiers R-word a Palestinian prisoner to death on camera. Israeli terrorist forces have boarded the Madleen. And I believe that they have kidnapped all who were aboard the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, a flagrant act, a deliberate act of terror, breaking international law. They have broken international law by stopping humanitarian aid, and Zionists are talking in my comments about who owns the land. No one owns the land. Do you know what shows indigeneity to the land that you're on? Do you want to show proof of indigeneity? It's how you treat the land. Because burning down native olive trees to plant pine to remind you of your ancestral European lineage is not indigeneity. It's colonization. It's ecologically violent. It's ecocide. salting the underground wells with fresh water, with salt water, is not something that someone that is indigenous to the land would do. Because indigeneity, those that live with the land, not against it, not transforming the land around them into something that it's not. And that's what this Zionist regime is trying to do, trying to change the narrative, to circumvent the truth, to twist it into something that it's not. Israel and the West are not only architects of genocide and ecocide, ethnic cleansing, this whole starvation. That's why folks in the Biden campaign are jumping ship. From the Biden camp are jumping ship, and now they're talking. I'm leaving the Democratic Party. They've committed war crimes. I wouldn't say genocide. Jumping ship. Israeli terrorist forces have boarded the Madleen, and they have taken all on board.
Israel is mad because the international community is not giving them enough credit for, I guess, not blowing up the aid ship and Greta. And Israel supporters and Zios Online are posting this photo as some sort of a gotcha, which will make us think, oh look guys, how can Israel be starving Palestinians when we have a picture of Greta with a smile and an IDF soldier giving her some bread? However, the crew is still being illegally detained after being kidnapped from the ship, with Israel Hayom reporting that Israel authorities are preparing to hold the detained crew in separate cells in prison. And National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has also ordered a ban on any display of Palestinian symbols inside the prisons where they're held. And now Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz, who remember ordered the flotilla to be taken over, is saying that he will force the crew who are being held in prison to watch the October 7th movie that Israel put together that shows Hamas attacking on October 7th. And I wonder if the film will also contain footage of the Hannibal Directive. You know, when Israel gunned down their own civilians in order to stop them from getting taken hostage by Hamas. Conor McGregor has been absolutely humiliated by Game of Thrones actor Liam Cunningham over Greta as well as the Freedom Flotilla. It all started when Liam Cunningham posted this on Twitter, and I quote, "The Freedom Flotilla was attacked during the night. The ship was rammed, boarded, and the 12 volunteers kidnapped. This is more reprehensible behavior from the genocidal regime in Tel Aviv," to which Conor McGregor showed up and wanted to gain some brownie points amongst his Zionist friends and commented, "I thought you were on this boat, Liamo. What happened? You forgot your goggles? You get sick off of the gargle," and then calls Liam Cunningham a bottler. And then Liam Cunningham comes back and replies to Conor by saying, "Didn't know you could read and write, Conor. Thought you used your hands to tap out." Which is in reference to the fight that Conor McGregor never recovered from, when Muslim fighter Khabib Nurmagomedov would take Conor McGregor's soul in the octagon and forced Conor to tap out. And after getting destroyed by Liam Cunningham, the coward Conor McGregor deleted his tweet.
Good morning. In breaking news, yesterday was rough. Yesterday was rough. Yesterday was rough. Yesterday was rough. It was rough. It's okay to admit it. Yesterday was rough. But we woke up to some great news this morning, and I'm not sure what to do with that news, but to tell y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. The Jewish Council in Australia, they called on the Canberra to secure the immediate release of the Madeleine's crew after the aid vessel, part of the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, was intercepted by Israeli forces this morning. That's not all. There has been calls being made globally. Guys, we were accurate. They were all watching. They were all watching, and for them to have all collectively spoken out and have been immediately calling for the release this early, the calls were being made as this was going on. They were watching. They were watching while we were watching. They saw everything we saw. They went through the motions the same way we did. Let me show you who else has been calling for the release of them. European Parliament slams Israel's seizure of Gaza aid ship as illegal. Solidarity is not a crime. The left in the European Parliament has condemned Israel's seizure of the Madleen aid ship. Let me tell you why this is a major thing. We just talked about a couple days ago how more than half of Europe is still sending weapons and money over to Israel. All of that shit stops if they don't release them. all of that shit stops. All of that. Release them. And release them now. In a statement, the bloc urged the EU, UN, and international community to condemn the detention, demand the crew's unconditional release, and ensure unimpeded aid entry into Gaza. Solidarity is not a crime. Genocide is. Now, here's the thing. I know we are seeing pictures of them eating sandwiches and water. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? We don't give a damn. We know about your propaganda. We know what y'all do to Palestinians. So for y'all to sit up there and try to claim there are reactions to your visceral response to literal humanitarian workers showing up and trying to paint it as dramatic or an oversight is insane. It's insane. You're fully aware of what your statehood could do. And it's the same exact people that'll get up on their phone, whine and cry about their statehood touching on them, and then try to tell us that we being dramatic because we literally watched y'all ram the shit out of this boat, psychologically terrorize them for days on end. A lot of us are sleep deprived because we had to watch this happen. But us responding and reacting to watching this live. I was live watching them. Following them from app to app to app. You trying to treat us like we're being dramatic is insane. But I expect nothing less from people this screws is loose in their head. Do you understand what I'm saying? The elevator don't go all the way to the top. The lights are on, but nobody's home. I expect that from y'all. I expect that. We're moving past the ones with the screws loose. Let them have their screws loose. Move past it. So currently there's a political group which includes 46 lawmakers that said the arrest of the crew and confiscation of humanitarian supplies is a part of a broader strategy to starve and massacre the Palestinians in Gaza while hiding Israeli war crimes from the world, which we all agree to. We can all agree to that. Sorry, guys, I had a mom. Okay, so in addition to that, Iran also condemned the Israeli seizure of the Gazan aid ship as piracy, which it plain cut and dry. That's exactly what it is. You know what this gives the essence of? Like, you know how you have someone, break into your house and it's B&E, cut and dry. So you call the police and you're like, hey, someone broke into my house and da-da-da-da-da, and they got away, and the police look you dead in your face and they say, hey, there's not really much I can do. I can take a report. But if they stole something, I can take a report and you'll have to fight it in civil court. That's what it gives. Like, there's an actual emergency going on, but we're not seeing that. We appreciate the condemning, but like, there's a literal emergency happening right now. We're going to need you guys to pick up steam. I do appreciate, what I am saying is that I'm happy that Iran, they were watching and they got the information as well. They denounced Israel's interception of the Madleen. They also stated that this assault on the flotilla, since it happened in international waters, is considered a form of piracy under international law. So out of everyone that has spoken, Iran seems to have, they have like a sense of urgency and emergency, because they got straight down to it, straight to like, literally, here's the text, here's what it says. And they've acknowledged that this is international, this is a breach of international law because it happened in international waters and it is against the law. The Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei said during a press briefing in Tehran. My thing is like, what's next? What's the next step? Because I haven't seen anything on what they plan to do. So what we need to do, because it's clear that we're going to have to like press the issue and keep making it their issue. Not just Iran, but the entire world. So what we need to do is keep pressing the issue. Now, the flotilla have provided on their Telegram channel ways that we can continue to push and literally tie up their lines if we have to. Send emails and fill up their email boxes, really disrupt their entire system until they face this shit. So I'm going to show you the contact information of every single embassy. And I need y'all, Godiva Gang, I need y'all to push this far up. Push this far and wide, because we need to call for their immediate release, okay? So let me show you. And you can actually find this on the Freedom Flotilla's Telegram group. The group link is on their Instagram page in the bio. So Here's the contact information for Sweden, for Greta Thunberg. You can also contact their social media accounts, as you can see. Tie up their email, tie up their social media accounts. If we all send stuff, it'll literally stop them dead in their tracks. They won't be able to respond to things. They won't be able to, like, fill up their email accounts. They won't be able to do, because it'll be ding, 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 back to back. Call, fill up the lines, mess their lines up, stop them dead in their tracks. We have the power to do that. They won't be able to do pretty much anything if we're tying up all of their lines and forcing them to do something about it. Turkey, same situation. They have an X account as well. Do whatever you can to get their attention and hold their attention until they do something about this. Brazil. There you go. Again, all the contact information. There's millions of people in Brazil. I know there's millions of Brazilians that are watching this and they feel some type of way. Tie up those lines. Show up to the actual embassy if that's what you got to do. Do what y'all got to do, okay? Do what you got to do. It's Spain. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Tie up the lines. Go on their social media. Fill up their DMs. Keep tagging them and stuff. Do what you got to do. Netherlands. They should have been the first ones speaking out. We should have heard something from them before we heard from anybody else. Why the fuck we ain't hear nothing from them? Tie up the lines. Show up. Pull up. Go get your friends. Sit in the room. All y'all. Tie up the lines. Do what you got to do. Germany. I know y'all watching. Don't play. We know how y'all people gets down. Okay? We know the pro-poly side of the people. They don't fuck around. Tie up the lines. Tie up their social media accounts. Shut shit down. About the Madleen, shut shit down, y'all. Last but certainly not least, France. Where the fuck y'all at? Why we ain't hear shit from y'all? Hello? Macron is loud about everything else. But when we actually need him to speak the fuck up, he ain't got shit to say. Tie them lines up. Find his ass. Corner him. I'm not saying get physical or anything like that. I would never promote that. Corner his ass. Hello? What the fuck you doing? You don't see this shit? Hello? These are your citizens that you promised to protect. They were in international waters, well within the right of international law. There is no excuse. There is nothing else to say, but you're going to get them released immediately. Do what y'all got to do. They are counting on us. We were counting on them to get to Gaza. Solidarity is not a crime. Genocide is. And they were well within the rights of the international law. So, good job, gang. I'm really counting on y'all to push this video far and wide because this information is necessary for so many people. I'm seeing a bunch of DMs and messages of people asking me how to get to the Telegram group and how to get all of this information, that of which the Freedom Flotilla provided to us so graciously and organized. It is all on the Telegram group chat if you need to see it again.
Every IDF soldier who boarded that ship will face identification. You boarded a civilian ship in international water. That ship was unarmed. Those passengers are not combatants. They carry baby food. You obstructed humanitarian relief in a declared famine. This is a war crime. Witness statements are being filed. European courts are preparing universal jurisdiction proceedings. Interpol is on their way. This does not stop with Netanyahu. It does not excuse you to follow orders from Gallant. You held the weapon. You boarded the ship. You are enforcing this blockade. You are on the record. You were seen. Your face is already archived. Its mission was public. Its location was known. It was being live streamed. This is number 1, a violation of international marine law. Article 87 of the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea. You broke it. Article 101 defines what unauthorized access is. You broke it. You violated international humanitarian law. You violated Article 3 of the Geneva Convention. You targeted humanitarian aid. This is a war crime. That's 2. Article 23 of the 4th Geneva Convention prohibits blocking essential supplies to civilian populations. Israel has broke it. The UN Security Council, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the International Court of Justice have all declared that this is a genocide and a famine. This is prohibited under customary IHL Rule 103. You are also in violation of international criminal law. Again, saying that you are taking orders from Gallant or Netanyahu does not cut it. You broke criminal law when you boarded that ship. Do you understand? Even Rome thinks this is bad. You broke the Rome statute of the International Criminal Court. It takes a lot to be more murderous than the Romans. But this defines starvation of civilians as a criminal crime, as a crime under criminal law. You as an individual face charges under both international law, war crimes, and as criminals. You have committed crimes against humanity on the record with your face on camera. I was taking orders is not an excuse for being a war criminal. The depositions have begun. The ICC has already initiated proceedings against Israeli leadership for the actions in Gaza. Additional evidence from the Freedom Flotilla seizure will be added to that case file. You have made yourself a party to these war crimes. Every one of those countries, they're all from different countries, can issue arrest warrants against every one of the IDF soldiers that boarded that boat. These arrest warrants hold universal jurisdiction. If you leave Israel, you will be arrested now. Spain, Sweden, South Africa, Belgium, Chile, Ireland, Malaysia have all exercised this power in the past, and we will do it again. Your name will now appear in Interpol's database, which is used by 190 countries. If you enter any one of these 190 countries, you will be arrested at the border for crimes against humanity, even in 25 years. There is no escaping what you've just committed. It is a war crime. Israel is not acting in self-defense, taking hostages off the Freedom Flotilla, trying to bring baby food to people in famine, detaining civilians and obstructing relief to besieged, starving people. The world is watching. Your God is watching. Your legacy is done now. It's made. You've made your bed. You will burn in hell. You will burn in Israel.
So I just watched this video. It's an interview with Daniela Weiss, who is a far-right Israeli extremist. She was quite literally one of the first settlers in the West Bank, illegal settlers. And she was the former mayor of an Israeli settlement in the West Bank. Anyway, she's being interviewed by Haaretz in 2021, where she admits you have to brainwash all the time, referring to Jewish youth and getting them to buy into Zionism. She literally uses the word brainwash. She's speaking English in this interview, and she says you have to brainwash them all the time. They're just telling on themselves, like with their whole chest. Like, if your political ideology requires you to brainwash people to believe it, it's not a political ideology, it's a cult.
I mourn every day. I personally, I have tried to send support to some of the children. I do care for children. The problem is that Hamas funnels aid and
flying
they
the
steal it.
Israeli flag supports the murder of those children.
I have had people go up to me and threaten me and my brothers for the mere act of being Jewish. And while it may not be because of you, your rhetoric helps support and embolden these militant people. And no, Judaism is Zionism. Zionism is not. Whatever you think about Zionism, you're not safe if it's not anti-Semitic. Because you did not attack us because we were Zionists. You attacked us because we were Jewish. Jewish people are confident.
I also think that as a Jewish person, like, I was fed a huge amount of lies about Israel
Me
my
too.
entire
Your entire
life.
life.
You know,
Yeah.
They never tell you that. Oh, by the way, there were people there. They make it seem like it was just like they're sitting there.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the doors open.
Hours for the taking.
Like, it literally, they forget to include the fact to every young Jewish person, basically, like, oh, by the way, there were people there. I'm afraid of Jews. I'm 100% afraid of Jews.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. It would be nice to live somewhere that was not a part of the Christian apocalyptic prophecy. It is also probably a good idea. It's like, maybe settle somewhere that, you know, the Christians don't think you all have to die in order for the
Yeah, and then they want us all to go there. They need a certain number
They
of
need
Jews.
us to go there so we can die. So the
Yeah,
apocalypse.
but that, could you imagine living in Israel? Would you ever go live in Israel?
No, it would be.
I'm not.
Here's why all of our struggles always need a global context. I'm going to be using Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis. One of the chapters is Ferguson reminds us of the importance of a global context. She says, why do I say that Ferguson reminds us of the importance of a global context? What we saw in the police reaction to the resistance that simultaneously erupted in the aftermath of the killing of Michael Brown was an armed response that revealed the extent of which police departments have been equipped with military arms, military technology, and military training. The militarization of the police leads us to think about Israel and the militarization of the police there. If only the images of the police and not of the demonstrators had been shown, one might have assumed that Ferguson was Gaza. I think that it's important to recognize the extent in which the aftermath of the advent of war on terror, police departments all over the US have been equipped with the means to allegedly fight terror. It's very interesting that during commentary on Ferguson, someone pointed out that the purpose of the police is supposed to be to protect and serve. At least that's what the slogan says. Soldiers are trained to shoot and kill. We saw the way in which it manifested itself in Ferguson. And it's not hidden that the US police is trained by IDF soldiers, and technology that Israeli uses on Palestinians, whether that's surveillance, whether that's military, whether that's bombs, it's tested on Palestinians and imported all over the world. And the US police in return uses it to oppress Black and brown people right here in the United States. She says, it's important to point out that the Israeli police have been involved in the training of US police. So there is this connection between the US military and the Israeli military. And therefore it means that when we try to organize campaigns in solidarity with Palestine, when we try to challenge the Israeli state, it's not simply about focusing on struggles elsewhere or in another place. It also has to do with what happens in US communities. And then she goes on to talk about how Palestine is what's happening in Palestine is reproduced in Europe, the US, etc. And it's important to make the link of the people to understand the global struggle. Understand that these incidents are not isolated. She says it's actually fortunate of those of us who are trying to participate in the building of a mass movement that some recent case of police killings and vigilante killings have been widely publicized within the country as well as internationally. We had Trayvon Martin, which of course was the tip of the iceberg. Michael Brown is the tip of the iceberg. These kinds of confrontations and assaults and killings happen all the time, all over the country in large as well as in small cities. This is why it's a mistake to assume that these issues can be resolved at an individual level. She says it's not easy to eradicate racism. It is so deeply entrenched in the structures of our society. That is why it's important to develop an analysis that goes beyond the understanding of individual acts of racism, and this is why we need demands that go beyond the prosecution of individual perpetrators. This book altered my brain chemistry on so many liberation struggles. I highly recommend everyone reads this and see how all of our liberation struggles are connected, and not just spiritually, but systematically.